Well, hello YouTubers, how you guys doing? Today we're behind the wheel of the 2001 Ford F250 Powerstroke, where I'm going to be giving you an update and how-to video on this truck. Just bought a brand new S&B Cold Air Intake off Amazon, just showed up in the mail today. Really excited to be able to put this air intake on. I've been wanting one for so long. It's a 5-star rated intake. A lot of diesel enthusiasts love it, and I figured I would too. Also, I wanted to post this video for people who are looking into putting this intake in their trucks. This will follow under the Super Duty series in the years of 1999 through 2003, early 2003 that is. And it will also follow for the 2000 and early 2003 Ford Excursions, all trucks with the 7.3 liter Powerstroke. So, let's go ahead and show you the intake that just showed up. So here is the new S&B Cold Air Intake that just showed up in the mail today. Brand new, costing me $299 plus tax. Comes with everything you need for the install. Right here is your new battery tray. There is the new filter. Right here's one of your hose clamps. Right here is the main air box. Has the intake tube inside it. All your clamps and everything you need to tighten it down. Here's the little air duct tube that goes out to the front of the engine compartment. Here's one clamp that goes onto the side of the firewall to create a good seal. Really looking forward to installing this unit, because a lot of diesel enthusiasts really love the S&B Cold Air Intakes. Not only people who have owned Powerstrokes, also with Duramax and Cummins. And I think they're really good air filters too. Some of my buddies back in high school actually own some trucks with S&B Cold Air Intake units. So anyway, now I'll go ahead and show you what we'll be removing in replacement for this. So here we are under the hood of this truck. It's got the 7.3 liter Powerstroke Diesel. Amazing engine, runs beautifully. And here's the intake right here that we're going to be removing. This is a K&N Cold Air Intake. It was originally on the truck when we bought it. And it's an okay filter. I just thought I'd upgrade to this S&B to try to get better filtration. But it's going to be a pretty simple removal. There's a few screws that hold on this heat shield, although I believe already one's missing. But there is one screw down there that holds it on in place. I'm also going to take out this intake tube, and also going to be replacing that little clamp that this truck came with. Also another screw that I need to be removed that's screwed right here on the fender well right there, which holds the air filter steady. And also the battery tray is also going to have to come out since the S&B comes with its own. There's two little screws down there and also two screws on the side of the fender well that hold the battery tray in place. Also, while you take the battery tray off, these cables do have to come off in order to get this cover off. Should be a pretty fun project. I'm actually very excited to go ahead and put this air intake in to get rid of this K&N unit. Although it's been an okay air filter and it has worked well on this truck while we've been having it, but I just figured we'd go and upgrade it because main reason why I do not like this K&N Cold Air Intake unit, some people might hate me on this, some might not. I don't mean to offend you people that like these air intakes, but the main reason why I'm wanting to upgrade to that S&B is because this K&N only has a heat shield that covers up only like half the filter, and this front section right here is wide open, and the problem being is it'll tend to suck in air from anywhere inside the engine compartment. Another problem that has is the filter dirties up quicker than when it's in an air box. And also, I personally think air intakes that are in a box are true cold air intakes, because they suck in cold air from places like the fender well or out front in the grill. That's just my opinion, so don't get at me on that. So anyway, we'll go ahead and remove this K&N intake and put in the S&B. I'll show you the end results. Oh, and also another reason why I'm not a big fan of this air intake is every time I'm driving and the truck shifts through the gears, you sometimes tend to hear back pressure from the turbocharger going back through the filter. Not only has this K&N done it, I've actually heard some that have AFEs or air aids or bully dogs or AEMs. Any wide open air filters like that, you can easily hear back pressure from the turbo while it shifts. Some people like it, some people don't. I'm one of those that don't, so hopefully with this new S&B it'll eliminate that. So let's go ahead and remove this air intake and show you the S&B installed. Alright, got my intake box all assembled. It was just a matter of having all the right parts. I had to screw this battery tray into the box. Turns out there's 2 washers in the back there, and another washer, 2 more washers up front, and the bolt has to go inside. Can't go outside of the air box. At least that's how I did it to get it in. I also got 2 more bolts right there, 2 washers inside there, and the bolts inside back there to hold on another part of the air box and the front air duct. There's also 2 more screws right here that hold on the air duct. And there's 2 more screws that hold this whole intake in place under the engine compartment. Also installed this little hose, an air cover, air filters all inside. It was a little bit tricky to get in because you had to make sure it was perfectly aligned, because there's this little piece, this little ridge on the end of the intake tube that's supposed to hold out, and then there's 2 little air clamps to hook up. To hook it up, I already got this tight screwed down. Now it's just a matter of hooking this to the intake to the turbo. So now it's just a matter of out with the old and in with the new. Alright, now everything has been completely removed. It was just only a matter of taking off the stock battery tray and obviously the heat shield. Also, there was a little plug that plugs into the back of the heat shield. This is actually for your mass airflow sensor. I had to take off that little piece for the inlet tube. Now it's just a matter of putting on this new one. Also put the K&N filter parts on the side right here. Here's the heat shield that I took off. It actually has its own little clamp right here that holds the intake tube steady. Also the filter is right here. Dirty as ever. Also the stock battery tray had to come out. Everything's very dirty. And there's the 4 13mm screws. This little piece right here, and there's also a rubber piece that's actually over there, which holds the battery down. And I actually ended up removing the battery cables with a 12mm. Also, when you take off the K&N, you do have to take off this little piece right here that screws into the fender well. This is the piece that holds the air filter steady. So you can see this little hook right here. That's what holds it in place so it won't move around. Now, let's go ahead and get this S&B on. Also, the reason why I had the rubber piece over here, because since my battery tray didn't come with the new piece, I'm going to reuse this old one. Alright, so I got the intake box in. It's just a help from me and some of my classmates. Just a matter of screwing in these 2 bolts onto the fender well, and also down here, which holds the stock battery tray in. It was a little bit of a pain getting this air duct hose in and routed through right about here. But once it's all in, you don't have any trouble. Also, this little hose clamp on the fender well hooked just right in. Also had to hook in the mass airflow sensor. It just had to wedge it in that rubber grommet right there. But now next goes the inlet hose and the air filter. Alright, got the inlet hose hooked in. It's kind of a pain to do because the intercooler hose was in the way, so I actually had to wedge this whole thing in there because since I already had the box in, there was no way I was gonna take it out. But after all that agony, got it in place, screwed onto the intake. Now it's just a matter of putting on the filter, the cover, and the battery. Then we'll be ready to take this thing out on the road. So here's the finished product. Filter in place, battery tray screwed on and everything, air filter and cover on, battery hooked back up. It is a little bit loose right now, but this tray I put on should hopefully hold. So, everything's all in. Let's see how it performs. Alright, now we're going to give you a little startup. Very nice. Okay, here's going to be a start up and rev from inside the cab. Okay, here's going to be an exhaust clip. Definitely has a pretty nice sound. Alright, here we are going on a drive, just about fixing to pull out on the road. Some of that back pressure when the truck shifts through the gears. You could just easily hear it going back through the air filter. You definitely hear a lot of turbo whistle. I gotta tell you, this thing sounds very nice. Even with the K&N filter, you can plainly see why I'm not even listening to the radio. Well, one, because of YouTube copyright, but two, this, just listening to this engine sound is music to my ears. Right now we're running at like 70 miles an hour. Man, this thing drives great. Sounds great too. Running very nice and smooth. Turbo spools up very quickly. It is a little bit louder. That's because it's getting a lot more airflow. It also is a lot more with the 4-inch MagnaFlow exhaust that I still have on. Up 70 miles an hour. Man, this is the speed that your average non-chipped 7.3 can't pull. I love it. This intake was definitely a huge upgrade. So there you have it in a nutshell. How to put on an S&B Cold Air Intake to your 1999 through early 2003 Ford Super Duties. Also excursions. Hope this has been helpful, and I hope you all enjoyed the video. Please like, rate, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.